All right. Good morning, school. Welcome back. Welcome to your show. Welcome to your school. Let's get started. We got episode 36 coming at you. Save your metabolic rate. We're going to talk about metabolism today, and we're going to talk about some ways that you can increase your diet success, your weight loss success in the long haul, and preserve your metabolism and your metabolic rate. So welcome to the show. Go ahead and throw a flex emoji in the comments. Let's get some muscle flying in the comments section. Participate a little bit if you guys want to hear this free information on how to better yourself. So welcome to the School of Shred. This is the show that's designed to help you shred your old and make better your new. That's a better body, a better mindset, and it helps you create a better life. So if you guys want to hear more on this topic, you can go to schoolofshredpodcast.com. As I said yesterday, this is the last week you can take advantage of my 10-part holistic health course for free. All you got to do is go sign up to be part of the School of Shred newsletter, and you will start getting your 10-part email series today. So with that said, let's get into it. Let's do this thing. Episode 36. Save your metabolic rate. So as we jump on the diet bandwagon, and a lot of times what we do is we try to exercise more and we want to eat less. What can happen is if you're on a hypocaloric regimen, which means you're burning more calories than you're consuming on a day-to-day basis, it's typically the way that people are going to try and lose weight. It's the way that you do lose weight. But what makes up this process is extremely, there's a lot of depth to it. And there's a lot of stuff you got to consider with hormones and such. And so just being on a hypocaloric diet where you just consume less calories than you're expending, it will work in the short term. And the research shows that diets work. They work nearly 100% of the time. When you don't eat enough, you will lose weight. That's not the issue. The issue is that you slow your metabolic rate down, you sacrifice muscle tissue, and then your body's searching for that homeostatic set point because you haven't changed your set point on a short-term diet. And then when you haven't changed your set point, your body wants to gain that weight back. And so you can gain weight on less calories as your body fights you back. And so there's some things that you want to do to try and prolong this. And this is why I talk mostly about hormones and food quality, because the issue is not that you can't lose weight. You could lose weight. You could start intermittent fasting if you've never done it. If you don't eat breakfast for the next couple of weeks, that could be up to 500 calories every day. That's going to push a huge deficit in your week. You will lose weight. How do you keep it off? This is why diets fail. This is what we have a country that has 1/3 of the citizens in it right now is diabetic or pre-diabetic. That's a CDC report. 113 million people in this country out of 300 million plus have blood sugar dysregulation and pre-diabetes or diabetes. This is an issue because there's more information than ever right now. Okay, it's not that you just are lazy and you're not doing enough all the time. A lot of times we kill our diets with trying to diet over time. And with each failure, we wreck the metabolism a little bit more. We burn a little bit more muscle tissue. We slow our metabolic rate down a little bit more. And a lot of times I get clients and they've dieted 5 or 6 times in their life and their thyroid's gone to hell. Their metabolism is just not working anymore. And it's because we got to nourish the body. We got to think long term. And so thinking long term, we got to build in some things. We got to build in some rituals and some contingencies. And we got to realize that it's not about losing short-term weight. You can do that. You can do that with any diet out there. You could do it with the Mediterranean diet, the keto diet, the ice cream diet, the potato diet. You could lose weight. That's not the issue. The issue is long-term success here. And so this is what we need to look at. And I'm super fired up because this is one of the greatest challenges, because there's a lot of back and forth even in the nutrition industry, which is like how to lose weight. And it's like, is it just a hypocaloric diet? Is it food sources? I've been doing this for almost 10 years. I'm here to tell you it's both. It's both. You need to try over time. You need to get to a point where you're eating more of an ancestral type diet, foods that human beings were designed to eat, that we've ate for hundreds of thousands of years. You want to model that diet over time. You don't have to do it in a day, but over time, that should be the goal. Over time, it should be the goal to limit processed foods coming in, because what they can do is cause hormonal responses that increase cravings. So although having ice cream won't kill you, it could be an issue long term, and it can actually affect your overall success when it comes to staying in a hypocaloric diet and regulating your appetite. But I digress. So to get into this, hypocaloric diets will slow your metabolic rate. So if you need 2,000 calories a day and you start eating 1,500, or you start basically expending, just say you start eating 1,500 calories a day, what will happen is you'll lose weight, right? And when your body plateaus, it's basically what a plateau is when your metabolism slows down. And so what happens is you got to cut more calories. But you can't just cut calories forever, right? I mean, you're not going to cut 300 calories from a 2,000 calorie diet every 2 weeks, because you're never going to hit your goal. We have to figure out how to push the gas pedal down and then hit the brake a little bit and slow down, and then gas pedal down, gas pedal up. And this is why understanding hormones and the response that we're pushing, that we're giving our body's going to give us a hormonal response based off of exercise, based off of nutrition. And so it's something we want to be mindful of. So too little exercise, obviously not good, but too much exercise long-term can be an issue. And so this is part of this gas pedal down, gas pedal up. And so I'm going to get into 3 points here today on this show that is going to address just a few key points. And then I'll get off on the usual tangent to try and give you guys as much information as possible to increase the value of your day here. So number 1 is take diet breaks. So this is something that's pretty crucial. There's a few ways that you can do this. What I personally like to do is take 1 week off every 4 to 6 weeks. Okay. And it's a lot of times it can be, it's done before a plateau. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. If you haven't plateaued and you take a diet break, that's a good thing, because what happens is when your body gets maxed out and it starts to push back, your body will win, your hormones will win. And so cravings will go through the roof. You might start binge eating more. So if you can stay ahead of the curve, that's the way to go. And so every 4 to 6 weeks, take 1 week off of relaxed eating. Now, when it's relaxed eating, depending on whatever you're doing, what I'll have my client do and what I encourage is that they eat to satiety that whole week. So they don't count calories, but what I want them to do is stay away from processed food and too many carbohydrates, because carbohydrates, depending on the sources and processed foods, they taste really good and they cause a hormonal response, which can make us more hungry. Okay, that's really it. It's not that they're evil and you can't manage them, but when I want somebody to eat to satiety, I need them eating whole meats, okay, a hormone-free food if possible, but I want them eating meats, vegetables, fruits, and good fats, okay, and limiting insulin response that week if possible, because they're in a calorie surplus, so they're going to be already upping the insulin response in their body because of the amount of food volume that they're eating. But that's something that's pretty important, is trying to have good food sources that week. Carb refeeds are another way that you can play with the gas pedal here. So hold on, my cat is meowing at me. Hold on a second here. Hey, buddy, you got to get out, dude. That's raw. Welcome to the School of Shred when we got animals meowing. All right, so anyway, where were we? Carb refeeds. Okay, so carb refeeds can help restore leptin. Okay, this comes with great responsibility though, because if you have 30, 40, 50 pounds that you need to lose, you have leptin resistance already, most likely. Okay. That's what's happening when you're storing body fat, is your body's not, your regulation is not doing so good. And so doing carb refeeds, which are pretty popular, they're a pretty popular thing to talk about for somebody who's needs to lose weight. You don't need to worry about those. Carb refeeds are like for people who are already in, so like if a guy's under 12% body fat, or if a woman's under, 17, 15% body fat, those can be beneficial in that regard. If your metabolism slows and you're trying to increase your metabolic rate. What happens when we diet is leptin will start to drop, and it's directly correlated with carbohydrates. So like fats won't spike leptin, carbs will. And so a lot of times in a diet, like if you're a bit leaner and you find yourself in a plateau, what you do is you say once a week or every 4 days, depending on how lean you are, you would double your carbohydrate intake. Okay. And basically what this is it's like taking one step back to take 2 steps forward. So usually like when I would do this, I would eat like sweet potatoes and yams and stuff and potatoes for a whole day, double my carb intake. And then the next day I would gain a couple pounds, look a little bit watery, but then in the 2-3 days after that, I would actually like the metabolism speed up a little bit and I would start to lose weight and I would flush that water out. And so I've had clients do this as they get to the end stages of getting to their goal where they're leaner, and it can have fantastic results. The issue is that depending on where you're at, you got to take that with a grain of salt, so to speak. The best thing to do that I've found is just that relaxed eating for 1 week. Just relax, let your body replenish with whole natural food, tons of vegetables, tons of good meat, tons of good fats. Eat to satiety when you need. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're when you're hungry, you can just do that for a week and then you get back on the diet again. Okay. So you can continue to train during that week as well. You don't need to stop training because it's going to push you into more of a surplus. So you'll feel really good that week. Coming out of a week where you eat a bit more calories, typically you have awesome workouts. So that's the first one, is just take diet breaks to save your metabolic rate. Okay. As time goes on and you get more in tune with your metabolism, you'll get more in tune with your body. Your body will tell you when it needs to be fed. This is also the great thing about when you have good natural food sources in the diet, because you're not your taste buds and your cravings aren't hijacked. I've noticed this in a very, very tremendous and drastic way in my own nutrition, which is when I'm eating more processed food and I'm fitting it in, I can't really trust my own intuition with eating. So the more fats and like quality fats that I'm eating, and meat and vegetables and some fruits and, some occasional sweet potatoes and whatnot, the less likely I am to make bad choices. And I can actually trust when I'm hungry. I can actually eat when I'm hungry and stay lean and not have to micromanage everything and weigh food all the time. I have a buddy and another professional. He's a coach in the industry. He did a great video there talking about this, which is, tracking macronutrients in the beginning can really help you. It's great. Like, I've done numerous certifications in how to do that for somebody. The thing is the issue comes to like, you don't like long term, that might not be the best idea. Long term, what ideally we'd want to have happen is you get to more an intuitive eating style where you don't have to weigh everything. I weighed my food and tracked everything in my MyFitnessPal for just like over 5 years. In the last couple of years, I haven't done it, but just in the last couple of years, I've also started adding in a lot of like ancestral methods, like fermented foods and organ meats and lots of bone broth and stuff like that. And I've really tried to limit processed food and even artificial sweeteners, in a big way. And what's happened is it's really changed the way my body responds to food, and I can trust my body again when it's hungry. I can feed and I don't gain excess weight. I'm not tracking as much. So long term, that might be where you want to shoot. Short term, you just take diet breaks every 4 to 6 weeks. So number 2 is AutoRegulate intense exercise. And what does AutoRegulate mean? When my clients come in to the gym, I always ask them where they at for the day. So I train tech professionals and, busy executive type people who are go-getters in business, and they are busy all day long, and their stress levels through the roof. They've been on meetings all day, and they could be just mentally and emotionally fried by the time they get to me. And the thing is, as I've explained before, if they've been in a fight or flight response all day, maybe it's not the best that I hammer them with a workout. Maybe the best thing to do would be do a bit of a lighter workout, and you auto-regulate that. So when a client comes in with me, I say, hey, where's your energy at on a scale of 1 out of 10? 10 being I'm ready to run through brick walls. 1 being I don't even know how I got here because I want to take a nap. And if they give me a 6 or a 7, which I talk to them about being honest, and when they finally are honest with me, it's good, because typically the people who come in and go, no, I'm good, let's just get after it, those are the people who actually need to kick back a little bit. Those type A people, you got to like reel them in a little bit. But if they give me a 6 out of 10, it's like, okay, we're going to do about a 6 out of 10 workout today. We're going to do about a 6 or a 7 out of 10 workout today, which means we're not going to be training to failure and some other things that I like to implement. So auto-regulate, because what you're doing is you're learning how to listen to your body. Okay, so if you are eating good, solid earth-grown nutrients, and you are, like I was just talking about with the whole diet breaks and all that, long term you're starting to get in tune with your body, and your body's talking to you at all times. And what we can do in the beginning of our fitness journey is we will absorb a lot of information online, and then what we'll do is we'll hammer ourselves because our goals are super strong. We're really motivated. I've done it. I did it. And so it's like at all costs, your body doesn't know what it wants. You got to override it because you're motivated, and you just hammer your system. You start working out numerous times a day. You're barely eating. And then what happens is your body will push back at you. And when it does that enough times, you're going to learn this the hard way. In the beginning of, like 10 years ago when I started working out, I put my hand on the stove many, many times, and it burned me because each time I would do that, I would get obsessed about food. I would get extremely tired and lethargic. And so what would happen is I would lose my motivation to go to the gym, coupled with not being able to shut the fridge door, and I would be binge eating, and there's many times where I would eat a whole jar of peanut butter because I was so deprived, because I was getting after it, and I wasn't auto-regulating. I wasn't learning how to listen to my body. The quicker you get in tune with your body, you guys, the quicker you get to your result, and you keep that result. Super important. And so you want to auto-regulate intense exercise. All right. There's time and a place to like force it and go, okay, I'm going to get after it today. But usually within a set or two, or, whatever you're doing for the workout that day, your body will wake up and you'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I'm good. But if you're continuously like feeling like a 6 out of 10 through the workout, just chill out. Just do a little easier workout, because realize that this is a game of inches, right? Inches are what score touchdowns. And so you want to just slowly move and nudge the needle. Exercise, first of all, your goal should not be to burn calories through exercise. That is not what exercise is. Control your caloric burn through intake and NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's how much you move when you're not working out. Work out to take care of your orthopedic structure, to create some insulin sensitivity, okay, and take care of your overall body. It takes care of your brain. You're getting oxygen in. There's so many other reasons to exercise other than just thinking about it like of this caloric burn. If you think about exercise as just burning calories, you're doing exercise a huge injustice for how powerful it is. It is not the same. And that's the thing that we do, is we try to burn calories as opposed to exercise and get strong. Use nutrition for that. Use your sleep for that. Those things auto-regulate, or they regulate your hormones. When you regulate your hormones, you lose weight. Okay, exercise does help regulate hormones, but it does so much more than that. And so for that reason, you want to just do a little bit of exercise every day. Don't put so much pressure on yourself that you have to like train super hard on a day when maybe your energy level is low. Just exercise. It's going to be good for you, even if it's a lighter workout, even if you do a couple sets, or even if you're just working on technique that day, as opposed to loading heavy. Or if you're at home and you're doing home workouts, maybe you do half the amount of volume you usually do. You still got it in. You still are increasing the overall activity for that day. You're sending a signal to your muscles. And so you're just auto-regulating. So that's number 2, is auto-regulate intense exercise. Number 3, and the last one we're going to get into is hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So hydration is key. So 15 milliliters per pound of body weight. Okay, so I've talked about that before. Hydration decreases hunger, so it'll have you feeling less ravenous. So it saves your metabolic rate, and really what it does is it saves you from overeating and killing your metabolic rate and killing your efforts. It improves muscular output. I have a course I'm doing right now that has like page after page of all these great studies that have been done where they show even the slightest amount of dehydration affects all sorts of different metrics for muscular output. So, and water is also the world's first energy drink, right? Like I've said before, long before Red Bull, water was the jam, right? And so water gives you energy. What happens if you're not hydrated? You might go to the gym and you might think you're more tired than you really are. And so you might have a skewed internal reading of how to auto-regulate that day, right? Maybe your energy is actually a 9 out of 10 that day. But because you haven't drank water, you get to the gym and you're like lethargic and tired. You're like, oh yeah, I'm like a 6 out of 10. So this is why all this stuff matters, because as we put all this stuff together, the food quality we eat that keeps us satiated, the water that keeps our bodies energized. When we get to the gym, we can actually demonstrate and express our strength in a way that is it's actually accurate of what's going on. And so it also improves energy, like I said. So water, super important. So you take diet breaks. Auto-regulate intense exercise, learn how to become intuitive with your workouts, and then hydrate. Okay, those are the 3 tips I got for you guys today on how to save your metabolic rate. This is episode 36 of the one and only School of Shred, the almighty. Thank you guys for joining me today. Tomorrow we will be back at 9 a.m. as well as Thursday and Friday. We have a Q&A coming up. So if you guys can drop your questions in the comments section, whatever it is as it relates to holistic health and fitness, that could be anything with spirit. It could be anything with the habitat, your recovery, your exercise, or your diet. Ask any questions. We're going to go over those on Friday. If you guys want to learn more about the show, or if you want to join my free 10-part holistic health series that I'm only giving away this week, you get 10 emails over 10 days with 10 different guides that I've created for my clients over the years that they've all paid for. And now I'm repurposing them as a thank you for your support with the show. If you go to schoolofshredpodcast.com right now and sign up with your email, you will get added to that list, and you'll get your first guide, which is on gut health. So go ahead and do that. If you guys can help the show grow by sharing this, if you found value in this today, share it on your wall if you can, and then review the podcast on iTunes. Helps us get more traction. And with that, that's it today. So go have a good Tuesday. Go shred your old and make better your new, you guys. With that, I want you to stay strong and healthy in body. Stay relentless and energized in spirit. And stay determined in your pursuits. That spells shred. Now go shred the day and get better in every way. Until next time, school, class dismissed.